There is a conversation you haven't finished. You know the one. Maybe it ended too quickly. Maybe someone walked away before you could say what you needed to say, and even now, hours, days, maybe years later, part of your mind is still in that room, still waiting, still rehearsing what you should have said. That's not weakness, that's not obsession. That's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. And the people who understand that design, they use it every day on you. The question isn't whether your mind has open loops. It does. The question is, who put them there? Welcome to TheMindShadow. This channel exists for one reason, to show you what's actually happening beneath the surface of human behavior. Not theories, not motivation. The real mechanics of how minds work, how they're influenced, and how to take back control. Today we're going into something that touches every area of your life. Your relationships, your entertainment, your productivity, your sense of peace. It's called the psychology of open loops, the doors left ajar that keep you mentally tethered. By the end of this, you'll see them everywhere, and more importantly, you'll know how to close them. In 1927, a Soviet psychologist named Zeigarnik sat in a Vienna cafe. She noticed something strange. The waiters had an extraordinary memory, but only for orders that hadn't been delivered yet. The moment food hit the table, they forgot it completely. She took that observation back to her lab. What she found changed how we understand the mind. Incomplete tasks create a kind of mental tension. Your brain treats them like open files, running in the background, consuming resources, demanding resolution. She called it the Zeigarnik effect. And it's not subtle. Participants in her studies recalled unfinished tasks nearly twice as well as completed ones. Twice. Your brain doesn't want balance. It wants closure. Think about a song that cuts off before the final note. Your mind finishes it involuntarily. Think about a TV episode that ends on a cliffhanger. You weren't going to sleep anyway. This isn't a metaphor. It is a neurological process. Your prefrontal cortex flags incomplete patterns as unresolved threats. Low priority, but persistent. Like a notification you can't swipe away. The Zeigarnik effect is the architecture beneath every hook ever designed to hold your attention. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's where it gets darker. The Zeigarnik effect doesn't stay in the lab. It lives in your body. When you have an unresolved loop, a text you sent that got no reply, a project you abandoned, a fight you never resolved, your brain releases low-level cortisol, stress hormone. Not the acute kind that makes you run, the chronic kind, the slow burn. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network activation. When your mind isn't focused on a task, it defaults inward. It revisits. It replays. It tries to close what's open. And here's the cruel part. Sometimes the loop can't be closed. The person is gone. The moment passed. The opportunity is dead. But your brain doesn't accept that. It keeps the file open. It keeps burning resources on a problem that has no solution. This is the mechanism behind rumination. Behind why you replay arguments in the shower. Behind why you think about the one that got away years after it stopped mattering. Psychologist Roy Baumeister studied this deeply. He found that negative, incomplete emotional experiences have a far greater grip on memory than positive, complete ones. Bad endings are cognitive anchors. They pull you back. Every single time. The mind is not trying to torture you, it's trying to protect you by learning from unresolved experiences. But in a world designed to manufacture those experiences deliberately, that protection becomes a leash. Now let's talk about how this is weaponized. Because it is. Deliberately, systematically, at scale. Netflix pioneered the autoplay countdown. 10 seconds. That countdown is an open-loop trigger. Your brain registers the incomplete episode as an unresolved task, and the path of least resistance is to stay. Social media platforms don't show you a feed with an end. There is no end. Infinite scroll is a door that was built without a frame. You can never reach the bottom. You can never close it. The loop never resolves. That's not a design flaw. That's the product. Now take this into your personal relationships. Some people use open loops instinctively. They end conversations abruptly. They pull back warmth without explanation. They give you just enough attention, just enough affection, just enough information to keep the file open in your mind. You think about them more than people who are fully present. That's not chemistry. That's the Zeigarnik effect dressed in cologne. In sales, this is called the pattern interrupt. You disrupt someone's expectation, leave something unresolved, and their brain leans toward you, seeking completion. Great salespeople don't close hard. They open loops and let the customer's own mind do the closing. Knowing this gives you a choice. You can recognize when someone is engineering your attention. You can identify the loops that were placed in you, not born in you. And you can choose consciously which doors deserve to stay open and which ones are just keeping you stuck. Here's what I promised you at the beginning. The thing that reframes everything. You remember the question, who put the loops there? The disturbing answer is this. Sometimes you did, not consciously, but your mind opens its own loops. Every goal you set and didn't finish. Every standard you told yourself you had but compromised on. Every version of yourself you promised you'd become. Those are open loops too, and they run deeper than anything Netflix or a manipulative person could install, because they're attached to identity. Your brain doesn't just want to close them for cognitive peace, it wants to close them because they represent who you said you were going to be. That low-level dissatisfaction you feel, that restlessness that sits beneath the surface even on good days. That's not random. That is the sound of your own unfinished business. The doors you left open to yourself. This is why understanding this psychology isn't just about protecting yourself from outside manipulation. It's about getting honest about the internal architecture you've built. Close the right loops, and your mental bandwidth frees up in ways that will surprise you. Leave the wrong ones open, and no amount of self-discipline will overcome the drag they create. The loop you close today changes what your mind has room to build tomorrow. That's not philosophy. That's neuroscience. If this opens something in you, something worth thinking about, then do one thing. Not for me, for the loop. Like this video. Subscribe to TheMindShadow, because next week we go deeper. There's always a darker layer. And now that you know how open loops work, you'll notice I just left one open for you. I'll see you in the shadows.